Today we're talking about how to keep your camera clean. Hey, you want me to take a picture of you?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
I hope you're safe. I hope you're doing well. Over the last few weeks, I have loved seeing so many people take amazing photographs, taking great B-roll, getting out there and trying to make the best of the situation. And I've been tempted so many times to go out and do the same. But the more I've seen it, the more I've thought about how often grab your camera, put your hands on it, and then bring it to your face. Aren't we told not to be touching our faces with stuff? I really had to think about what my steps were when I go out to take pictures with the camera. Because I've come home in the past and my kids have wanted to see the pictures I've taken and they grab the camera and they swipe through it. Maybe I should really consider how I'm going to use the camera outside and what do I do with it when I come back. Do I put it into self-isolation? Do I clean it and get it ready for the next shoot? I know that it depends on what I was actually doing, how far I went, what I interacted with. But for the most part, I wanted to make sure when I did get home, I knew the camera was clean and that anyone in the family could pick it up if they wanted to. So today I'm going to go over how to clean your camera thoroughly, what parts to pay attention to, how to clean it, what general products you should use, and what areas you should avoid with any of the cleaning solutions. I've had my cameras cleaned professionally and I've also cleaned them myself. So let's jump right into it and I'll show you what you need. So first off, you need your camera. A clean microfiber cloth, alcohol 60% proof or higher, an optical lens cleaner. You also want a lens pen, the lens blower, a lens cloth. You need gloves, Q-tips, paper towels, and finally warm water with soap. So one of the things you want to make sure, you want to use alcohol on any textured material to make sure you get into the cracks and the crevices here. Anywhere that your fingers are touching and pressing, you want to make sure you're getting inside all of these nooks and crannies that are on the back, especially around the eyepiece and above and around. So when you're going around all the places, all the buttons, all these little nooks and crevices that are on the dials, you want to make sure that you get some alcohol in there. Anywhere that your face is going to be up against this, is going out, touching the camera, then touching stuff, taking more photos, touching more stuff, and then bringing your face up to it, you're potentially asking for trouble. So keeping the camera as clean as possible. When you get home, disinfect it, clean it. Now it's not something that you need to do every time. It definitely helps to know that you're going to be putting your hands on it and then bringing your face to it. So sharing your camera is not something that I would recommend doing right now. Now with the glass on the back with the LCD and electronic viewfinder, you can use alcohol. Make sure you use it lightly over all of them and then dab it off and then use a cleaning solution because you want to disinfect it first and then clean it. For all the years that I've had the cameras, I've used alcohol on these screens without any issues, without any damage. As long as it doesn't sit on there for too long and you don't try to scrub it off. That's where the microfiber cloths come in. The lens cleaning kit comes in afterwards to make sure that you can clean all those other bits. You also want a lens pen because if the blower doesn't work, you can actually go at it quite well to remove any smudges. And this is a step I use before I start using the lens cleaning solution. And on the lens pen, they also have this brush on the back end, but I don't tend to use the brush for anything unless I'm trying to get something off of the body of the lens itself. I never put this on the lens directly. If you can, use the blower to remove as much debris as you can. The less you touch the glass of the lens, the better you will be. So today I'm not going to talk about how to clean the sensor. That's a whole nother step that's outside of what we're talking about today. I would try to limit the amount of time you're cleaning the sensor. That's something I would do professionally, or if you have to do it, only do it if you notice something on there and it won't come off with some forced air on it. You definitely want to make sure that you hold your camera face down and you blow in to remove any of the dust and have it fall out instead of falling back in. One of the steps you can do here is the self-cleaning that the camera manufacturers provide. So do that step. You also want to make sure that when you're cleaning the battery, you want to make sure that the alcohol never touches any of the contacts that can lead to potential erosion. You don't want to do that. So once the battery is clean, make sure you set it aside, let it air out. The alcohol will evaporate fairly quickly. Once it's dry, you can put it back in. Do not clean inside anywhere here. Just put the battery back in, close it, and don't touch it. Or put it in a new fresh battery. That way you can give it some quarantine time for itself and it'll disinfect. When it comes to the memory card, if you have not touched the memory card yet, wait until the camera is completely clean to take it out. But if you have swapped your cards out, make sure, just like the batteries, never touch any of the contact points because it can lead to erosion and it will ruin your card and it will ruin your day on a shoot if you don't pay attention to it. If you do put any alcohol on this, make sure you wait a few minutes for the alcohol to evaporate off of the memory card. Set it aside, let it dry for a little bit, and once you're ready, you can put it back in and everything should be good to go. Because your face is closest to the back, you want to make sure you get all the edges, all the in-between parts with some alcohol. Any touch points, the bottom is definitely something you wanted to make sure you get as well. And just like with everything else, make sure it has time to air out before you close it and set it aside. Now, when it comes to lenses, you want to make sure that you're able to get into all those little nooks that are on the focus ring, that are on any dials that are there, any places that you're holding the camera for extended periods of time, any places that other people can be holding it. Around the edge of the lens cap for sure, all the contact points that you have on the lens cap, make sure that those are clean all around it. And if you don't have rubbing alcohol, you can use a towel and some warm water with some soap in it. You don't want to soak the towel. You just want to dab it lightly and let it soak in. So you want it to be moist, not wet. And then again, if you feel like you have too much on it, you can dab it on there, squeeze it in, and then just clean. You don't want to put too much. Never soak, never put it in the water. You're just asking for trouble. So you want to make sure that you're able to just get all these grooves and just clean your equipment nicely. Make sure the cloth is clean and you work your way around the whole lens, trying to avoid getting it too wet. And once you've gone through it, you can feel safe and confident that your camera is now clean and disinfected, and then you can hand it off to other people. When you're on a shoot, it's best to have designated gear that is for that person for the duration of that shoot. When the shoot is over, collect everything and then make a plan to clean it all. Unless you know it's going to sit in the case for a few days, then you can just leave it and just wipe it down after a few days. That's it, guys. I wanted to walk you through my cleaning procedure when I work with my gear and how I clean it and what materials I use. In the comments down below, let me know what things you use to clean your gear. How meticulous are you about it? Do you have any special procedures? Do you have any special solutions? I would love to know the way you guys approach cleaning your gear. What are your thoughts on sharing equipment with other people? What is the routine that you go through when you bring your equipment back home? Do you set it aside? Do you clean it? Are you even worried about any of that kind of stuff? Share your thoughts down below. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Rafael. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.